level. Hopefully they'll be helpful for you as well. They're mostly multiplication tips, because that's the place I find people get confused. They have something that looks like this, and there are so many zeros and so many places. It's like, what do I do with all those zeros, with everything going on? Well, make it simple. Take 61 and just multiply it by 8. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 6 is 48. So now you have what the numbers equal. You have to be concerned, though, there are 3 decimals here and there are 2 more here. So in my answer, I have to have 5 decimals altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my final answer. So I didn't think about the decimals in the original problem. I didn't multiply them as decimals. I instead changed them to whole numbers, multiplied them as I know how to do, and went from there. Signs are another thing. They don't make any difference whether we have decimals or we have whole numbers. But let's take a look at another one. And again, I'm going to shortcut the signs. I have 2 negatives, and so my answer is going to be positive. I'm not going to worry about the sign then. It's going to be positive. And I'm going to take 32 times 8. 16, carry the 1. I get 24 plus 1 is 256. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 decimals. I need another 0. I have 4 decimal places. And again, immediately I looked at the signs and said 2 negatives make it positive. So I don't really have to worry about that throughout the problem. I just consider it at the very end. All right, there's one more. I was up in a common area. A girl was working online in some math, a young girl, and she asked her dad what the word evaluate meant. And I often find students confused about that. It simply means to find the value. So typically what we have is something like this, 25xy. Now in order to find the value of this, or to evaluate it, I need to know what x is, and I need to know what y is. And then I put those in place of x and y in my original problem. So in place of x, I write negative 0.8. And in place of y, I write 0.6. Now I'm going to use my same method. I'm not going to worry about the decimal points. I'm going to multiply 25 by 8. 25 times 8 is 200. Pretty simple. Then I have 200 times 6, and I get 1200. Now I have to look decimal points. There are 2 in the problem, so I need 2 in my answer. So I have 12. Now I have to consider the sign. I have positive, negative, and positive. There's 1 negative that makes the answer negative. So again, to simplify the multiplication of decimals, make them into whole numbers, multiply them as if they're whole numbers, and then consider where the decimal place is at the very end. Do the same thing with signs. Look at them. They're sign numbers. Don't forget, at the very end, determine the signs from there. I hope this is helpful and will be helpful to you as you work through this lesson.